The addition of Marina Mabrey to everything that the Chicago Sky are establishing in this new rendition is going to be a profound stamping that's added to this collection of talent that James Wade is again handpicked with specifics in mind in terms of evolving his brand and evolving the team that he puts forth on the court, both as a general manager as well as a head coach to coach. So let's go ahead and dive into some of the film through the lens of all things Marina Mabrey, stemming from her postseason showing against the Connecticut Sun from the 2002 first round playoffs. Let's go ahead and dive into the film. All right, first play, we're going to see them sideline out of bounds, and she's going to get in the spread pick and roll. And customary to everything in the Kurt Miller-led rendition for the Connecticut Sun is that everything they do in terms of pick and roll defense is going to see activity at the level of the screen. Whether that's a switch, whether that's a flat hedge, whether that's a hedge out, or all-out blitz in terms of double teaming the pick and roll ball handler, you're going to see some type of mixture or blending of those coverages on the ball at all given times. And particularly with Marina Mabrey in mind, one thing that she's always garnering is extra attention at the level of the screen from both the ball handler's defender, so the person that's defending her, as well as the person that's defending the screen, and stepping out to momentarily or for the rest of the life expectancy of her dribble, seeing two to the ball and holding the attention of multiple defenders. So that's exactly what we're going to see here on this very first play as we kind of let it flow through a little bit. And you can see the anticipation from Mabrey as well as Jonquel Jones. Jones anticipating that Mabrey's going to come off and maybe try to beat her wide, and Mabrey anticipating that Jones is going to be expecting her to go wide. Again, this rep taking place in the second quarter of game one. So these are both players playing chess in this context of offense. And Mabrey, because Jones is not tight to the screen, if Jones was more, not even necessarily lateral to where Mabrey is coming from, but if she was generally more close to the gap between right here on the still frame, where Izzy Harrison is, who's setting the screen for Mabrey, and where Jones is, if there wasn't this little bit of a sliver of a hole to peek through, Mabrey would have to be flattened out and go towards the sideline. But because Jonquel gives her this space and Mabrey's anticipating it and sees it and processes it quickly, she's able to find her way through this little hole. She's able to get downhill and burn the help defense by nature of the lack of connectivity at the point of the screen from the Connecticut Sun. This is just an ultra-skilled player and an ultra-skilled play from someone that's really known mostly for her shooting. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised at the things and the wiggle that she has and the shake and shiftiness that she does show in the change of pace with her live dribble that she's going to be able to put on display with this Chicago Sky team. All right, kind of transitioning into game two, we're going to see her working a little bit off ball here. So we see the Dallas Wings getting into some of their motion offense. They just go with a pitch into the wide side of the floor, and then they're going to get a little bit of stagger action that's also going to see a slice action. So we see stagger initially looking like it's going to be Isabel Harrison as well as Veronica Burton here setting staggered or double away screens for Marina Mabrey. That's what the play is looking like initially. And then we see after the entry to start the possession, we see Alicia Gray kind of ducking underneath. She's going to then, in the middle of that, set up to set a slice screen from the elbow to allow for Izzy Harrison to get to the strong side block. So we see the slice screen from Alicia paired with a wide screen. It looks like double wide, but it ends up just being a single wide screen here from Veronica Burton. She does a good job laying the wood on Courtney Williams to make her navigate this screen and navigate it through physicality. That allows for Mabrey to get off of the screen as she does a great job setting it up and taking a good angle to come off of it to get into her catch and shoot footwork. We see her go with the hop. She likes to get into a hop. Some players like Steph Curry like to go into outside in footwork in this scenario to get off a quick trigger release before help defense or a contest can get into the mix. Some players like maybe a JJ Redick or maybe a Ray Allen like to go with inside out as they get their hips going into their jump shot. Marina likens a lot to Allie Quigley in terms of liking to shoot off of the hop with her footwork to maintain balance and get power going up into the jump, into the release, into the jump shot. And we're going to see it here as we slow it down. You see the hop after the catch. Again, it's all timed up and paired up in rhythm. Catch, hop, bottoms up. All right, this next rep here, we're going to see just some more of her processing speed. And again, I mentioned that her handle is going to be something that catches a lot of people off guard. Her passing ability is going to be something that catches people off guard as well, because she sees the floor fairly well, and it's growing in an expedited fashion as well. It's growing fastly. And we're going to see just that on this play. Again, customary to the Connecticut Sun and the Kurt Miller rendition, they're putting a lot of activity at the point of the screen, trying to muck up the pace and the flow and the rhythm of not just Mabrey, but the entire offense of the Dallas Wings. So we see this screen here coming from, again, Izzy Harrison, a new teammate with the Sky, but nothing new to Mabrey in terms of their tandem and activity and pick and roll offense. So we see her setting the screen here for Mabrey. Courtney Williams does a good job navigating this, and we see Jonquel Jones, unlike last time, you see where her foot is compared to where it was on that first rep where we talked about Mabrey splitting. Jones is a lot more disciplined in her positioning here, up at the level of the screen, and she's able to kind of flatten out Mabrey. Mabrey, however, does a great job here instead of trying to split because it's not necessarily there. She does a great job when she comes off. Look at this leap. This just subtle change of pace allows for her to dictate the pace of the play in this specific action, but also allows for her to play with the angle and gain an advantage in terms of keeping some separation to potentially make a pass or a read out of this scenario with Jonquel. So we see her threading the leverage to stretch out Jonquel while also simultaneously stretching out the rotations if we shift our attention to the help line of Dewana Bonner and Alyssa Thomas, who is the low man here. So this hesitation allows for her to stretch them out a whole lot more, and she's able to eventually fire this pass after keeping the separation by threading the leverage of Jonquel Jones, firing this fastball, skipping it. The best pass that you could possibly compromise a defense that's putting attention on the ball, especially in the sideline or outer third scenario, is with the skip pass. It's a tough pass. Most players can't make this going with either hand. Mabrey is strong enough and she's accurate enough with this pass to hit it all the way over to the second side to Kayla Thornton, and she's able to knock that three-pointer down by them burning the defense again off the attention that Marina Mabrey receives and can hold with patience coming off of this screen and holding two people's attention. And Thornton knocks that down. All right, this next rep here, we're going to see her getting off of a little bit of Iverson action. We've seen the Sky use this specific setting action for Kalia Copper, for Rebecca Gardner at times as well. And we're going to see just that right here. So we see her coming off of the Iverson screens, flowing over the top of them. It's essentially horns, which is a player crossing and exchanging from one side of the floor to the other, going over these screens. So we see her peeling over, and then she's going to eventually go with what's essentially like chin action. So the pass to the opposite side, and then she's cutting off of the opposite side of where the pass is coming from. It's kind of like chin action. They're looking for this back door here. They do a good job defending, as you see Alyssa Thomas kind of sink in and take away that passing angle, as well as Courtney Williams navigating over and trailing and chasing. So something that Marina, as I mentioned in the piece, that she loves to do is play bully ball. She loves to use her stature to her advantage whenever she has a smaller or slighter frame defender on her, rather than trying to work in space against them. And that's exactly what she does here by virtue and by nature of the action that the Wings are running here. She seals with 2 feet in the paint, 1 foot almost in the restricted area. On the catch, she gets immediately into the turn before the help defense can get there, while also keeping Courtney Williams walled off with her backside and her hip. And she's able to get into an extended arm finish with his left hand with a solid contest from Courtney Williams being an athlete, but Mabrey is extremely focused here, hits her spot off the glass and kisses it in. And then here on this rep, we're going to see, again, just some more fundamental and solid play here from Marina Mabrey. So she's going to come off of the screen, and again, we're going to see her do another great job anticipating the hedge coming from, this time, Alyssa Thomas, and she's able to split it. You can kind of see where Alyssa is. She does a good job kind of baiting players into mixing and blending coverages, kind of like Candace Parker is as well. She's probably second to Alyssa in terms of blending coverages and being able to play chess within the pick and roll context of a player having the ball on offense. She fakes like this is drop essentially to kind of try to throw off the timing, and then boom, you can see her anticipating this Mabrey comes off, and she fires up to the level of the screen and trying to hedge out. But Mabrey, again, with her processing speed, does a great job of understanding it all in real time, being patient, going at a control speed, and being able to split this hedge. And again, if you're able to split this hedge at the top, there's nothing but space underneath to work with, as it's a natural 4-on-3 for the offense. And we see Marina playing within this advantage here. And because everybody else is hugged up to their initial assignments and there's no help, Bree Jones is late. Mabrey's able to get into the mid-range. And again, she likes to get into the hop, going into her pull-ups. She gets into the balance, gets into the hop, and it's bottoms up again. And then again, we talk about the dog in her. We talk about the passion she plays with, the energy she plays with. Look at this chest bump here. They're getting a big win on the road here in Game 2 to force things to Game 3 back at their crib. And she's chest bumping with Alicia Gray. She's showing love. She's dapping up with teammates. She's talking to the other team. This is all the type of energy that this Sky team is going to exude, and she's going to be a big piece and big reason of why they have the type of chip on their shoulder that they're going to show on a nightly basis. And as we transition into their exit game, in the final game of this first round series, we saw a few plays that stood out to me. The first of which, again, her being in bully ball. Again, Courtney Williams was guarding her for a majority of this series, and Courtney is a very active defender, but she doesn't have the requisite stature to deal with Marina in the low post. And that's where she kept her on the earlier play, and then they go to it again here early in the game, in Game 3 at home. And Marina is able to work in space, as you see this exchange up at the top at the dome, to kind of keep the defense occupied so she can kind of work in a little bit more space. She's able to get to that left hand, get to the middle of the paint, and gets up a little soft touch finish here. Again, all with the left hand. Just very impressive. All right, and on this next rep here, we're going to see Mabrey again just doing a great job with the live dribble. Again, I keep mentioning it. Her passing is going to catch people off guard, but so is her crafty and very subtle, borderline elite ball handling. And we're going to see just that right here. On the catch, she catches it with both feet in the air. It's kind of like a stampede drive in a sense where she's getting it on the move already. Look at this hesitation that she throws on Courtney Williams. The hesitation kind of freezes Williams. As you can see there, in addition to Marina Mabrey's fundamental offhand activity to keep the separation. And then as she gets into this drive, notice the curved angle where she starts to get downhill and how she curves the angle to cut off the potential trail and chase from Courtney Williams to eliminate her, take the angle away from behind, and keep her on her hip or on her backside. And as we rewind it back, in addition to all of that, look at the subtlety here after the pickup. She gets to the pickup point. Look at the fake pass here that she throws. The fake pass to the corner, and it holds the help defense, allows her to get to the uncontested finish. But in addition to the fake pass, also look here. Because of the fake pass and the timing with which it comes, she gets into a wrong-footed finish. So that also helps to throw off the help defense coming from the inside of her. So the fake pass to hold the outside help, the wrong-footed finish to throw off the timing of the defender from behind or the defender inside that could potentially be in shot-blocking opportunity. And she's able to burn it all. Just being fundamental, thinking the game through, and having very, very great feel. And this little zoom in here is going to show all of the fundamentals we just spoke on even more here. Get the hesitation. Look at the inside hand activity to gain leverage getting downhill. You can see the curved angle eliminating Courtney Williams' potential contest from behind. You can see the fake pass here to hold the help defender. And then you can see the wrong-footed finish as he gets into the pickup point and then gets into the finger roll to throw off any potential timing of rim protection. That's just an exquisite drive. Her drives are going to be very important for this team. And as we get into this last play here, we're going to see just second to last play, some great fundamental footwork here. Again, coming off of another Iverson screen, set of Iverson screens. She gets an under here on the navigation, and as she immediately sees this and feels that separation, she just gets into the catch. This is a very awkward angle to get into for a jump shot, especially a three-pointer, especially on the move nonetheless. And she's able to stay balanced. Again, gets into the footwork, and then she knocks that down. That's bottoms up. That's cash. And then on this final rep here, we're going to see, again, just another exquisite drive here from Marina. I think, again, Her ball handling and her passing are going to really jump off the page and jump off the film to people as they watch her play a little bit more as a Chicago Sky member. Here is going to be the wings going with a little bit of flex action. And she just says, yeah, that's all nice. Occupy that attention for me. I'm getting downhill. The team needed a bucket, especially in the fourth quarter here, and she was able to provide. She gets the space. She's able to attack the top foot. Again, is never shy of contact. She invites it. She can even initiate it sometimes in a way for her to dictate on offense. By virtue of doing that, she eliminates the pressure, is able to curve the angle on her drive. Again, eliminate the backside, but also split the nail help coming from Cloud in here. Or excuse me, coming from Odyssey Sims here. And she's able to eliminate it, get through with the step through, and then she gets into a finish with the left hand. This is a floater with the left hand in a congested area of the floor. And she's able to knock this down with all types of confidence. This is not by accident. This is all off of feel. She has so much skill, so much ability, and so much potential that she's bringing to the party for the Chicago Sky in this new rendition. And it's going to be a whole lot of fun to kind of see it unfold and see it mesh and blend with the rest of the talents that James Wade and company have compiled for this new rendition of Chicago Sky basketball.